Imagine for a second that the entire world is your classroom.
Okay.
And I don't mean sitting in some lecture hall, staring at a whiteboard.
Or highlighting a textbook until it's just yellow.
Exactly. I'm talking about the supermarket aisle, your kitchen, while you're waiting for pasta water to boil, even that boring commute to work.
So everyday life.
What if ordering a coffee or asking for a different size in a clothing store wasn't just a chore, but was actually the secret to mastering a new language?
It sounds almost too simple, doesn't it?
Yeah,
But it's a massive shift in perspective.
it is.
You stop thinking of learning as something you go do for an hour on a Tuesday night,
Right.
and you start seeing it as something you live 24/7.
That is exactly what we are unpacking today. We have this massive stack of research and resources here.
Take one.
We're talking everything from deep psychological dives into motivation by heavy hitters like Daniel Pink and John Maxwell, all the way to, practical guides for surviving job interviews.
Right. The real world stuff.
The street smarts of language learning.
And the mission for this deep dive is to synthesize all of that into a cohesive system. We aren't just looking for random tips here.
Yeah.
We are looking for a blueprint. Because let's be honest, a lot of people try to learn English or any language, and they hit a wall.
Oh, they do.
They get bored, they get overwhelmed, or they just feel like they sound like a robot.
I think we've all been there. The classic, hello, how are you? I am fine.
It's painful.
It feels so fake.
Precisely. It lacks soul. So to get past that, we're going to structure this discussion in 3 distinct layers.
Okay.
First, the mindset why you're doing this and why your brain might be fighting you. Second, the method how to hack your daily routine.
Yeah.
And third, the mechanics, the actual magic phrases that make you sound like a native.
I love that. Mindset, method, mechanics. Let's jump straight into the mindset because this is where our research gets a little controversial.
It does.
We have this book in our stack, Drive by Daniel Pink, and he drops a bit of a bombshell about rewards.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, it drives a lot of traditional teachers crazy.
Okay, so lay it out for me because intuitively, I think if I want to learn something hard, I should offer a reward, a bonus, a gold star.
Right. A trip to Disneyland.
Exactly. But Pink says no.
Pink argues that for creative, complex tasks, and language learning is definitely complex,
Oh, for sure.
external rewards can actually make your performance worse.
Wait, hold on. Worse. If my boss offers me a $5,000 bonus to become fluent in Spanish by the end of the year, I'm going to work my tail off. How can a reward possibly make me perform worse?
It sounds crazy, right? But here's the science. External rewards money, grades, they work great for simple algorithmic tasks.
Like stamping envelopes.
Exactly. If you need to stamp 1,000 envelopes, a cash bonus makes you go faster. But language isn't stamping envelopes. It requires cognitive flexibility, risk-taking.
A completely different part of the brain.
Right. When you dangle a big reward, the brain narrows its focus. It gets tunnel vision. You stop exploring the language and just try to find the quickest shortcut to the prize.
So you become a test taker, not a speaker.
Exactly. Think of it as the difference between student A and student B.
Okay.
Student A wants to learn English because she wants to backpack through Europe, connect with locals.
She has an internal drive. She's annoyed when she has to read subtitles because she wants to hear it.
Right. And student B is the guy who needs to pass the TOEFL exam to get a certificate.
And once he gets that paper...
He doesn't care. And what happens the day after the exam? Student B stops. The motivation evaporates.
Because the reward is gone.
But student A keeps going because the reward is the activity itself. This connects to a key concept Pink talks about called autonomy.
Autonomy. Essentially the need to be the captain of your own ship.
In learning, this breaks down into 4 areas where you need control: activity, time, technique, and team.
So what you do, when you do it, how you do it, and who you do it with.
Exactly. If a teacher tells you exactly what to listen to, when to listen to it, you become passive. You're just following orders.
Like being forced to listen to a boring audio tape about geology when you really want to be listening to a podcast about, I don't know, true crime.
And if you choose the true crime podcast, even if it's harder, you'll learn more.
Because you own it.
You own the learning. Engagement beats compliance every single time.
That makes so much sense. But let's play devil's advocate. Internal drive is great, but what about those days when you just feel stuck? We have the 15 invaluable laws of growth, by John Maxwell in the stack, and he talks about intentionality.
Yes, the law of intentionality. And it's a bit of a slap in the face for passive learners.
Mm-hmm.
The core idea is that growth doesn't just happen.
It's not osmosis.
No.
Yeah.
We think if we just live in a foreign country, we'll absorb the language.
Yeah.
Maxwell says no. You have to move from I hope to I choose.
So I hope my English gets better this year is a waste of time.
It's a wish, not a strategy.
Yeah.
I choose to learn 5 specific words about cooking today. That's intentionality.
And that links to another one of his laws, the law of the mirror. This one's tough.
It is. You have to see value in yourself to add value to yourself.
Oof.
If your inner voice is constantly saying, I sound stupid, or I'll never get that accent right, you will unconsciously sabotage yourself to prove that belief right.
That is so huge. It's like if you think you're a bad learner, you'll just ignore all the wins and hyper-focus on the mistakes.
And speaking of mistakes, Maxwell has one more law that is crucial, the law of reflection.
This is just, thinking about your day.
It's deeper. Maxwell argues that experience alone is not the best teacher.
Okay.
Experience plus reflection is the best teacher.
Yeah.
You can stumble through a conversation in English, make 10 grammar mistakes, and just sweat through your shirt. If you walk away and say, thank God that's over, you learn nothing.
You just survived.
Right. But if you take 2 minutes, literally 2 minutes afterwards to ask, okay, what worked? What word was I looking for but couldn't find? That is where the growth happens.
We could close the loop.
You close the loop.
Okay, let's shift gears. We've got the mindset. Now let's get practical. Layer 2, the method. How do we fit this into a crazy busy day?
Right.
The sources suggest starting right when you wake up with something called the morning protocol.
This is all about priming the brain before the day starts. Step 1, hydrate. Drink a big glass of water before you even touch coffee.
Why the water, though? Is that just general health advice?
It's cognitive advice. Your brain shrinks slightly when dehydrated. It's sluggish.
Wow.
Trying to learn vocabulary with a dehydrated brain is like trying to run a car with no oil.
Okay, drink water, then movement. Not a full workout, I assume.
No, just 10 minutes. Stretching, walking, even dancing to a happy song. It just banishes that groggy feeling. And then, step 3, this is the hardest one.
Let's hear it.
Focus time. 30 minutes with absolute no phone. No scrolling, no news, no emails.
Oof, that is the golden hour, but it's so hard. I'm guilty of the doom scroll first thing.
Most of us are. But if you scroll, you're putting your brain in reactive mode.
You're letting the world dictate your thoughts.
Exactly. If you block that out, your brain is fresh. That is the prime time for 15 minutes of English study. It's the most productive window you have all day.
So 15 minutes in the morning is worth an hour at night.
Easily. Because at night, you're fighting fatigue. And speaking of fatigue, the sources bring up a rule for the evening that I really liked. Don't stop when you're tired. Stop when you're done.
This one sounds aggressive, but I think I get the logic. They use the analogy of a dirty kitchen, right?
It's a perfect analogy. You've just finished a big dinner. You're full. You're exhausted. The sofa is calling your name.
Oh, the sofa's definitely calling. Come sit, watch Netflix. The dishes can wait.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you listen to the sofa, you wake up to a dirty kitchen. You start the next day with a deficit. But if you clean the kitchen despite being tired, the sofa becomes a prize.
You earned it. So how does this apply to English?
If your goal is to read 2 pages of a book and you're tired after 1, you finish the 2nd page. You push through that little barrier.
Yeah.
Then when you finally relax, it's guilt-free.
Okay, that brings us back to that language lab idea. Narrating your life, turning your internal monologue into English.
Yes. You turn your brain into a commentary track. Take the supermarket. Most people just zombie walk through it.
Grab milk and leave.
The language lab approach is to walk down the aisle and think, actively think. Okay, these are dairy products. This is low fat. This is boneless, skinless chicken.
So you're asking yourself questions in your head. Where can I find the pasta? Is this fruit fresh?
Exactly. And you do it anywhere. While you're cooking, I am chopping the onions. I am boiling the water. It connects the physical action to the vocabulary.
So chop isn't just a word on a flashcard.
It is the movement of your hand. It cements it in memory.
Even commuting. The bus is crowded. That man is wearing a blue jacket. It's brilliant because it takes literally 0 extra time.
It's the English brick philosophy. You don't build a house instantly. You lay 1 brick at a time.
1 word a day.
1 song. 1 sentence about your day. Consistency beats intensity every single time.
That leads us perfectly into our 3rd layer, input and storytelling. We're consuming media all the time, Netflix, YouTube. But how do we turn that into learning without ruining the fun?
That's the key, not ruining the fun.
Because if I have to pause every 3 seconds to look up a word, I'm turning the TV off.
And you should. The TV series strategy from our sources is very specific about this. First, lower the stakes. Don't try to understand 100%.
60% is a win.
It's a huge win. Use subtitles, start with your native language, then switch to English. But here's the rule that shocks people. Pick only 5 new words per episode.
Only 5. That seems so low. I feel like I should be writing down 20.
If you write down 30, how many will you remember next week?
Probably none.
Exactly. You'll be overwhelmed. But if you pick 5, just 5 words that seemed important, you can actually master them. And then you have to participate. Repeat sentences aloud.
Be a movie star in your living room.
Mimic the emotion. And speaking of emotion, the sources highlight storytelling as a massive memory aid. We remember stories because they make us feel something.
Facts fade, but embarrassment is forever.
It is unfortunately true. The sources gave some hilarious examples of this.
Oh, the supermarket hug. That one cracked me up. A woman sees another lady in a gray coat, thinks it's her Aunt Mary, and gives her this massive bear hug from behind.
The woman turns around.
And it's a total stranger who looks terrified.
Mortifying. Or the pizza delivery story. A family throws a surprise party. They hide behind the sofa. The door opens. They jump out screaming, "Surprise!"
And it's the poor pizza delivery guy.
Holding 4 pepperoni pizzas, nearly having a heart attack. But here's the point. If you narrate that story in English, I was embarrassed, he was terrified, you will never forget those words. The emotion locks them in.
That is so true. And that willingness to be embarrassed, it actually bridges us to a deeper point about character. We have notes here on Jordan Peterson and David Brooks.
This is where language learning becomes character development. Peterson has his famous rule, stand up straight with your shoulders back.
Which sounds like posture advice, but it's psychological.
It is. It signals confidence to your brain. When you're learning, the temptation is to hunch over, mumble.
Try to disappear.
Peterson is saying, physically embody the person who is capable of speaking.
And he has another rule that I think saves a lot of heartache. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today.
This is crucial. You look at a native speaker or some influencer who speaks 10 languages, and you just get jealous. It destroys your motivation.
Right.
Look at yesterday. Did you know the word for boneless chicken yesterday? No.
Right.
Do you know it today? Yes. That is the only victory that matters.
I love that. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. Layer 3, the mechanics, the scenario survival guide.
The phrases you actually need. We need to be careful here because a lot of learners use textbook phrases that sound off.
Let's do a little role play. Let's start with a cafe. I walk up and say, I want coffee.
Ooh. Immediate red flag. It's grammatically correct, but socially, you sound like a toddler or a kidnapper.
I want the money.
Right. It's a demand.
And okay, so how do I fix it?
You soften it. I would like, or even better, can I have?
I'd like the hamburger, please. Or can I have the bill?
It changes the dynamic from demand to request. It's magic.
What about shopping? I always panic when the shop assistant attacks me with, can I help you?
The classic shield is, I'm just looking. Memorize that. It buys you peace.
And if I need to try something on?
Don't just point. Ask, where is the fitting room? And the really useful phrase is, do you have this in?
Do you have this in a medium? Do you have this in red?
Exactly. It's a plug-and-play sentence.
Okay, let's level up. The job interview. High stakes. The sources had a great section on this. Let's try the dreaded, what is your weakness? Question.
Oh, everyone hates this one. Go ahead. Give me a typical bad answer.
Okay. My weakness is that I work too hard and I care too much.
Yeah, no, I'm not hiring you. That's a humble brag. It sounds fake.
So what's the right way?
You need to show self-awareness and a solution. Be honest about a real struggle, but immediately pivot to the fix.
Okay, how about this? I sometimes struggle with time management because I get lost in the details. So I've started using a digital planner to map out my day in 15-minute blocks.
Boom. Hired. You admitted a flaw. I get lost in details, but you showed me you have a system to handle it.
You're solution-oriented.
Exactly.
And what about the where do you see yourself in 5 years question?
The trap here is saying, I want to be running my own business.
Right, because then the employer thinks, so you're just going to quit.
Exactly. You want to show ambition within their world. I hope to grow into a senior leadership role here.
Show them you have a future with the company.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do a quick travel check. The expert source laid out an 8-step travel plan.
It's a logical flow. Destination, dates, budget, transportation, accommodation, activities, packing, enjoy.
So you learn the vocabulary in that order.
Right. You book accommodation, you get local currency, maybe you travel off-season to save money.
And finally, conversation fillers. The little noises we make to sound like we're thinking. Things like, actually, probably, by the way.
They're not just words, are they? They're social lubricants. That's the perfect term for them.
How so?
Well, think about it. If you invite me to dinner and I just say no, that's harsh.
It hurts my feelings.
But if I say, actually, I can't make it tonight, that word actually softens the blow. It signals, I wish I could, but the facts are different.
And by the way, is the polite way to change the subject when you're bored?
Or when you just forgot to mention something. And, I mean, it's great for clarifying. It was okay. I mean, the food was good, but the service was slow.
It lets you refine your thought in real time.
And using these makes you sound instantly more fluent because you aren't just engaging in dead silence while you think.
So we've covered the psychology of motivation, we've covered daily habits, the power of embarrassment and story, and the specific phrases to survive. What does this all mean for the listener right now?
It means that mastery isn't a destination you arrive at. It's a way of walking. The sources talk about the plateau.
That feeling where you study hard but you feel like you aren't improving?
That's usually where people quit. They think, I'm stuck, this isn't working.
Right.
But the experts say the plateau is actually where the real work happens. Your brain is consolidating. It's building deep connections.
So you have to trust the process.
If you can stay on the plateau and keep laying those English bricks, you'll eventually have a breakthrough. Even native speakers are still learning. Mastery is endless.
I like that reframing. Feeling stuck isn't a failure. It's part of the process.
Exactly. And I want to leave you with one thought from Jordan Peterson's rules that really applies here. It's a heavy one.
Okay.
Pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient.
Ooh, let's unpack that. Expedient versus meaningful.
Expedient means what is easy, fast, convenient. Using a translation app is expedient.
It gets the job done right now.
Right. Memorizing a phrase book for a weekend trip is expedient, but it doesn't change you. But actually learning the language, embracing the grammar, the mistakes, the struggle, the embarrassment of hugging a stranger, that is meaningful.
It builds a new identity.
It gives you a new voice. So the question is, are you willing to embrace the slow, sometimes boring path of mastery to build that new self?
That is a powerful question. Stop asking, what does the teacher want? And start asking, who do I want to become?
That's the shift.
Well, there you have it. Your world is your language lab. Your challenge starts now. Pick just one word today. Maybe expedient. Draw a picture of it and use it in a sentence. Thank you for diving deep with us.
It's been a pleasure. Keep building those bricks.
See you next time.